At first glance, this looks like a bunch of dots. But in a few moments, this plain tee is going Super Saiyan. Halftones are either completely crispy or a complete disaster. There's no middle ground. And today, I'm putting myself to the test with Goku. Let's see if this thing powers up or crashes out. So the reason I picked Goku is bigger than just printing a cool design. For me, Goku has always been about growth and pushing past limits. Every time he's knocked down, he comes back stronger. And that's the same energy I put into Strophe as a brand. Strophe's about expression, evolution, and turning your struggles into something powerful. And honestly, Halftones feel like the perfect tee for that. They look like random dots up close, but when you step back, they come together into something epic. That's kind of how I see creativity too. It's not always clear in the moment, but it comes together when you trust the process. Plus, on a personal level, I grew up watching Dragon Ball Z, so this isn't just me printing another shirt. It's me bringing a piece of my childhood into Strophe and showing how these influences shape what I create today. Now for the film, I'm using inkjet transparency film made specifically for inkjet printers. Now the image, I've gone ahead and grayscaled it and then bitmap, what I'll talk about in a second, but you want to make sure you're using the right film for your printer. Now I have an inkjet printer, so I'm using inkjet transparency film, set it to all black, and also I'm using two films that I've taped together so that I can know that I'm getting a solid black image that will burn perfectly on my screen and my exposure unit. Now for the screen, I'm using 160 mesh count. Why that's important? Because once you plug in your calculations on the printer, after you grayscaled it and then bitmat it, it's gonna ask you for the PPI, which should always be 300 pixels per inch. And then you have the frequency and the angle. The angle, I always like to set it at 22.5. And for the frequency, now you take your mesh count and you divide it by 4.5. Now, like I said, I'm using a 160 mesh count. So divide that by 4.5. That gives me 35.555, which I'll just round out to an even or odd 35 frequency. Now that, when printed out, gives you this, a nice film, nice and dark. Like I said, I've doubled it up, and then I've gone ahead and exposed it so I know that, you know, it's gonna expose correctly. If I did all that and this screen didn't wash out clean, Goku would look more like Yamcha after a fight. But it came through out looking real good. It came through looking clean, and we're ready to print the screen. So let's get into it. So today we print on one of my favorite shirts, the Shockaware Super Max Heavyweight Tee. And it's one of my favorite shirts just because it fits great. It got drop shoulders, double stitching throughout. And I like the neckline. The neckline is super secure and solid. And it's an overall great shirt, and it's garment dyed as well. We're gonna add a little adhesive, and then we're gonna load up the shirt to the palette. Like I said, this is one of my favorite tees just because I like the fitment, how it fits, how secure it is. And I just like how it prints too. Now I've already mixed up the white ink, so it should be ready, nice and smooth to print. So we're gonna load it on. And for this print, I've noticed that a push has done me a lot better than a pull. So we're gonna push, flood it one more time, and give it one more push. One more to make sure everything's fully. And let's see what we got. Nice. I'm gonna flash up both sides, the bottom and the top, because this is a bigger print and my flash dryer is smaller. So we're gonna flash both sides, and then we'll take a look at the final product. And there you have it. This is Goku printed on a Shockaware Super Max Heavyweight Tee. Halftone printed on a 160 mesh count screen. And let me know what you guys think.
change.